Now that we talked about the different pieces to the navigation pane and Blackboard and all it has to offer, we can get down to, what's next, which was the ebb and flow of lecture, which is what we have here. And so what we have to understand is that this is, both asynchronous and synchronous, meaning that we're going to have class time as well as then things that we have to do outside of class time. All the assignments are basically in modules. So the modules correspond to the chapters. So module 13 would correspond to chapter 13, module 14, chapter 14, etc. Within the assignments of each module is the lecture videos, as well as homework assignments. And again, while this is not great at homework assignments, believe me that this is really where most of your work should be being put. The more practice you can do, the more you can do these questions on your own, the better your exam response is going to be. So whether you're, a carnivore and this would be the meat and potatoes, or a vegetarian, this is the broccoli and seitan, right? That's what you really need to get into, is the practice homework. I break the practice homework or these homework assignments down to different headings. Video lectures have blue headings, practice homework is in red, and then we have homework videos that are for extra help are in purple. So basically how this is going to work is that each morning before class, each morning the day before class, I'm going to give you an assignment. The assignment is going to be based on a module and the parts therein, as well as the practice homework assignments therein. And so the next day, we will meet for class. We'll do that virtually over Teams, and that's when you can ask me questions about the actual homework assignment. So the homework assignment gets assigned the day before. You get a chance to watch the videos, attempt the homework, do your best, and then on our class meeting the next day, we have a discussion about the problems we had, and we can do example problems, we can talk about concepts, we can do all of that stuff with the in-class Q&A. And then those notes, as well as videos, then get posted for us to check on later if we want. So that's pretty much how it'll work Sunday through Thursday. So Sunday will be our first assignment, and then I assign assignments throughout the week. Thursday is our last class time, and then every Friday we actually have an exam. So let's take a look at an assignment. I have this module 17 or chapter 17 assignment already opened up for you, at least for the purposes of the video. And so here within this, we have lecture objectives, which is we're talking about buffers here and titrations, other aqueous ionic equilibria, and then we have our assignment. And the assignment is broken up. I like music, so usually at the beginning of each type of section, there's music for you to take a break, rest your eyes, maybe get some refreshments or a snack or whatever. And then as we go here, we can see part 1, lecture 1, right? And so here we're talking about chapter 17, sections 17.1 to 17.3. And this is an introduction of buffers and how they keep constant pH. And then part 2, we have example calculations of buffer and pH, right? And so those are the two videos that tied to the buffer concept. And then we keep going down. We have homework in red. Those are the numbers that we find at the end of the chapter in the textbook, or just on mastering chemistry within the actual specific chapter. And then down below, we see in purple, these are links to help us get extra help. So if we need extra help, we say, oh, I don't understand buffer pH in that calculation. Number 30 there at the bottom, I can click on that. And that's going to take me to that video to help me out.
This is number 30.
So we have the videos assigned. That's the lecture material. We have the practice homework then be following it, which reinforces what we learn in lecture. And then if we get stuck, we have these extra videos below in purple to help us. So blue, lecture; red, practice homework; purple, extra help. And chapter 17 is a big one. So there's a bunch of parts to this one. And so just as we go from assignment to assignment, I'll say, parts 1 through 4 in module 17. And so as we can see, we then get into now looking at titrations. After some Iggy Pop relaxation, we get into strong titrations. We can then get into weak titrations, etc., etc. And so there's a lot to this chapter because it actually is a very large chapter. So I'm breaking these down into specific sections to try to help with that, ability to look for stuff simply. So that brings us back to our ebb and flow. Right, again, the deal here is that video lectures are in blue, practice homework is in red. Remember, that's the meat and potatoes. Broccoli seitan is the practice homework. And then we have extra help if needed in purple. These assignments happen the day before class, and during our class time is when we actually do question and answer over the actual assignments. And that is the ebb and flow of lecture. The ebb and flow of lab is basically revolving around a Monday through Wednesday cycle. So you will have labs open up on Monday and Tuesday and then Wednesday of each week. Not every week, but the majority of weeks, that's how it will happen. With your lab, there's a couple things that need to be done. There's your lab report, but we have a later deadline for that. But so for each lab that opens up on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, there is a pre-lab quiz associated with that lab. So the lab that opens up on Monday, you need to do the pre-lab quiz on Monday. For the lab that opens up on Tuesday, you need to do the pre-lab quiz on Tuesday, and the same goes for Wednesday. Once those labs once we have them open, you can hand in your lab report at any time. But the final deadline for lab reports is the Sunday at the end of the week. So the pre-lab quizzes are due the day of the experiment or the day of the lab. The lab reports aren't officially due till the Sunday at the end of the week of that lab week. You can hand them early. You can hand them in any time, after they're open. But Sunday is the final deadline. So you have the pre-lab quizzes, which have to happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of an actual lab day. And then you have the lab reports and post-lab questions, which are due anytime before the Sunday at the end of the week. There'll be more information with that as soon as the labs start up with our lab director, Christine Cardillo, as well as our laboratory teaching assistants or lab TAs.